spicy, mild, or somewhere in the middle. Answering all your questions, so turn it up a little. Is a meat dude, yeah, it's a meat dude, yeah.
Episode 9, we are going to have a guest on today, Emma Zink. We've talked about her in the past in the first few episodes. She had helped us design our logos.
She was our first sponsor of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Logo still looks great. It's awesome.
I think so.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, man, that's cool.
I was actually going over some things. I was going to do some trade out. We're going to get some glasses with our logos etched in them.
Ooh, that'd be
so
cool.
we can be drinking with our logos on
with
here.
My face on it?
Yeah, with your face on it. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But it's March Madness week. It is one of the most epic times to watch basketball in the next 4 days coming forward. I know a lot of people are taking PTO time, trying to get off, trying to, any excuse you can come up with to make it to the bar and watch some games with the buddies or the friends or whatever. And then high school basketball in North Dakota.
Yeah.
The double A boys just did last week. And then they got single A and B this week. So the Firebirds right here, number 1 seed in the A. We're going to be hoping that those guys can redeem themselves from a last-second shot last year, and they took second, but they won the year before. So we've pretty much dominated the A.
Well, that just asterisk of you're not on that team anymore. Remember that.
I was the first class.
That was like 20 years ago.
I know.
You were on that team.
When Firebirds changed over from the Saints, it was in 2004. That's when I graduated. So I started the Firebirds whole. Yeah, no, not at all.
If that helps you sleep at night, go for it, man.
Hey, man, whatever helps. Absolutely. But since this is a big basketball weekend, I kind of got a wild hair, and we are starting a pig tournament, hopefully annually. We are sponsored by Cloverdale Meats. We're having kids and adult teams. We're having individual kids brackets, adult brackets. We're going to be at New Salem March 22nd at noon. The winners are going to be getting meat.
Cloverdale Meats. That's the sponsorship is the winners.
And then I'm going to be DJing some music when people are shooting and having some fun. And I think it'll be a great time to get people into the gym. Spencer and I both really like basketball, so I think it's a good thing to promote for us.
And the proceeds are going to
Dollars for Scholars.
Yeah, our local Dollars for Scholars.
So now kids can go to school. You see,
well, that's
kind of a smart thing to
some
do. Because if you're like me and it took you like 9 years to get a 2-year degree, that's just kind of what it is. But you still got it. I still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But no further ado, we want to bring in Emma. How's it going, Emma?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to the basement.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to have you. I feel like when we're talking today, we're going to talk about a little bit more of my scope than more of Spencer's scope and more of the marketing aspect. I would like to think I know about marketing, but sometimes I just do things and results are what they are. But that's okay. But you want to give a little quick background? What brings you to doing marketing, websites? It's kind of your passion, right?
Yeah. So I am a freelance graphic designer and web designer and photographer. I love carrying around my camera as well and doing event photography, but kind of do it all at this point. And I don't know, background. So a lot of my clients are agriculture and meat people, and that's truly from my family and the way I grew up. My grandparents on both sides are ranchers in central North Dakota, like Towner and Maddock area. And then my dad is a cool meat scientist guy. He worked at SDSU and then NDSU for 15 years, and now he's with the American Meat Science Association. So he also, it's kind of a family business where there's always things to do with meat and promoting, the world and the industry of what Spencer works in. So that's kind of how, honestly, I got into that side of it. But yeah, I'm a freelancer, so I have worked at a bunch of different agencies. I went to college at the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, did a couple jobs at big agencies there. There was one that was an agriculture agency specifically, so a lot of tractor ads and a lot of formatting and cutting out tractors and making them look super cool. But yeah, so all of that good stuff that when you're driving down the highway and you see a billboard for a tractor, like a Massey Ferguson, like attachment, like that is things I've looked at quite a lot. That doesn't necessarily mean that I know a lot about it, but I know how to make it look good.
Isn't that the important thing, right? It's the perception of knowing what's going on and getting people to click or to like and give you a call or whatnot. So I just keep thinking, she thinks my tractor's sexy, but that's, that is what it is.
You're musically inclined.
I was always at the FFA dances as well. I'm a big FFA kid. My mom was the executive director of the North Dakota FFA Foundation for 8 years. So yes, we got our corduroy jackets. I was always in the floriculture and egg communications, career development events, CDEs and whatnot. So that's another big side of why I truly love agriculture and want to be in it and help. You could say that we're behind in some ways compared to other industries in terms of marketing and design and what looks good and how people hear about it. And that's why there's so much, miscommunication about what, specifically meat is. You have to be an advocate for agriculture. So that's truly what I do as a designer and a marketer. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, it sounds like if you didn't do what you're doing, you would have been a black sheep, because you would have been just against everything that your family was doing, and because I know all about that. So.
Yeah, the joke is always because I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, so it was like, don't go to college and become a vegan or something.
No, you would not be on this podcast. That's for sure.
Yeah, probably not the Meat Dude podcast.
Yeah, or we'd be making fun of you, but I don't think we're going that route yet. So.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. You should interview a vegan.
We should.
Oh man,
put that on the list.
Put it on the list. All right. Yeah. We'll just go find one under the bridge somewhere.
It'd be a good conversation. We could make a fun spin.
Yeah, we'd try not to. I'm sure they would have some great points that would just baffle us.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Cool. Well, last episode, we were going over the ultimate meat bracket. So what we did is we tried to take 4 different cooking processes: barbecue, hot and fast, low and slow, and then sausage or processed. And we came up with the final 4. And now we're going to give Emma, the vote for women everywhere. So, don't feel too pressured, because, we didn't ask any other women at all, so we might as well try to get both genders into this and see what they think. But we in the bracket we had 4 different ones. So I know Spencer was pretty high on that flat iron coming out of the hot and fast. I was wondering, do you have any thoughts on how we got there, or what we have going, Emma?
Oh, goodness. I feel like I need a visual because you said the word bracket.
Okay, well, it's pulled pork in the barbecue region against the flat iron in the hot and fast. And then on the other side, we have shredded beef in the low and slow. And then country sausage in the sausage and process. So are you, do you have any feelings towards one or the other, or?
Honestly, one of my favorite meals on earth is just a shredded roast, beef roast in a crock pot with a packet of ranch seasoning and a whole jar of banana peppers.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's a whole nother flavor. I haven't really had that. That's
and it's it's a combination of the ease of making it and the flavor and the that's so the bracket is shredded beef versus what? Country sausage?
Country sausage. So country sausage is pretty tough to beat as well, but I know you were picking it so it was more user friendly, I guess.
Kinda, yeah. But so on that side of the bracket, your vote is shredded beef moves forward. And we're talking low and slow, crock pot style shredded beef.
Yes.
It'd be tough to beat that. I think I would have to go
it's
with
really
that.
tough. But you know what's going to end up happening, and we'll find out here in a second.
Right,
this last decision is going to be very difficult. So then on the other side of the bracket is flat iron versus smoked pulled pork.
Oh gosh, I feel like I can't do 2 shredded meats pulled pork. That feels a little bit awkward.
You're a thinker. You overthink this like I do.
Yeah. I am still like someone who I haven't taken full advantage of like my family being like my dad literally does this for a living, and every time I cook a steak at home, I'm still like, wait, how do you do it? I'm like, wait, what? I know you've told me so many times, Dad, but like, it genuinely, I just get a little nervous about it. So that's why I like crock pot cooking.
Yeah.
But no, I can't go to shredded meats. So I'll go with the what is a flat iron steak?
Yeah, flat iron steak.
Well, that's kind of.
That's two beef.
I think you were going to go with that anyway. I think you and Emma were on the same page.
I shredded pork. I have the same thoughts of crock pot shredded beef. Is that it's the staple of the barbecue category, and a lot of people make it. But I'm gonna agree. But this last one.
So flat ironed in the championship against shredded beef.
Yeah.
For all the marbles.
For the Meat Dude inaugural barbecue or March Madness bracket.
Yeah.
Meat bracketology.
There you go.
I mean, I would say right now it's 70 degrees. Oh, it's almost 70 degrees out here.
Yeah.
So all I'm thinking about is steak.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna go with flat iron.
Well, I don't think it'd be really tough to. I totally get the shredded beef thing, the convenience and all things, but how can you go against a steak?
Yeah.
Right.
But even a flat iron. Have you even ever had a flat iron?
Not cooked, I think, the way that it should be cooked. I've had all sorts of different types of meats and different things, but off the top of my head, I can't remember last time I had it.
Emma, you've had a lot of flat irons, right? You had to have.
I think so. Okay, so explain it. I'm Googling it right now. It's a shoulder.
Yeah, it sits on top of the shoulder blade. It's flat in appearance. It's the name flat iron.
Convenient.
It's like the second most tender steak out of a whole carcass.
Okay.
It's really rich in flavor. Like in the restaurant world, you see it at more. You're starting to see it in any type of steakhouse, but it's usually kind of a higher end steakhouse type deal. You'll have to ask your dad his thoughts on it the next time you talk to him, but it's my favorite. Like I've said many times, it's my favorite steak. So if we're just doing steak versus shredded beef, yeah, steak 100%.
See you later. Yeah. Okay. All right, we got a winner then. That sounds almost unanimous, I would say.
See, I thought we were gonna have a conversation of smoked and shredded pork or shredded beef. That would have been a tough conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
But flat iron, yeah.
It's hands down. Yeah. Good to go. All right, well, then we got a winner. We solved that. Now everybody can rest easy. I think it'll be a lot easier to lay your head down on the pillow tonight.
We did have our bracket on our Facebook page.
Yes, and then the war of Iran happened, and algorithms destroyed everything we were doing.
Yeah, there ain't much.
But I don't think it got our wives didn't even see our posts or nothing. I mean, usually they at least feed them a couple posts here and there. But yeah, whatever. We'll keep pumping out material and informing the world and kind of see where it goes from there. But to get into kind of talking your kind of neck of the woods, Emma. What got you? Obviously, what kind of? We know why you've stayed in the egg meat world. Obviously, that's just tradition, and you being a good oldest daughter that you wouldn't want to stray far away from the herd. But what made marketing the thing, or graphic design and web design? Like that's your passion?
Yeah. So honestly, I love the idea of like, and I always think, what if, or what would I be doing if not what I'm doing now? Not that I can't change in the future, but I was thinking about this the other day, and just like the idea of being like a food scientist is really cool to me, and like food safety, and like passion for, and then that leads into like cooking. Love to cook. My little brother's actually like a professional chef. He got his associate's degree in NDSCS in Wapaton, and I just think that's the coolest thing ever, because now he works at really cool restaurants and has all this experience. But anyways, like food science and cooking and meat and all of those things together. I did a year of agriculture communications at North Dakota State University. And I was like, this is fine. You know, I did agriculture because I got a bunch of scholarships if I said I was going to go into agriculture. That's a pro tip for anybody looking for scholarship money. But then when I was there, I was like, I want to be the person actually making the things that people see. Like I want to be cool and be able to like build a website and design a logo and make, quite literally just make cool things. And how do you do that? Like, what programs do you do? And then that's how I rolled into, well, I'll go to, you know, the big scary city of Minneapolis, and it was great. And then did my, you know, design school thing. And throughout the whole experience, I was like the only student doing any sort of like projects around food safety or like meat.
Everyone else is like, trying some creative approach or whatever, more abstract kind of deal.
There were people doing like environment. There were a lot of people that were like, cows are making the world die, and I was like, no.
I'm trying to do the other thing. I'm saying that cows are great for the world.
Yeah. I'm like, my papa in Maddock, North Dakota, is not causing the downfall of our environment. He's actually bringing the environment back with regenerative agriculture practices. So I was just always like fighting against everyone else's like weird projects that didn't make any like scientific sense. And that's I don't even know what the question was. That was
No, that's awesome. No, I was just asking kind of what got you into specializing in graphic design and whatnot. So that's perfect. That hits it right on the point.
And I think in today's world, I feel like branding has just become so important, and those brands are revolving around a single logo that everybody can recognize. Everybody knows what it is by just looking at the logo, whether you're a meat shop or you're a retailer or whatever. I mean, that brand recognition is huge right now. You know, and I always look at, especially with the social media world, there's guys that are all over the country. You know who they are because of their presence on social media and because of their logo. I'm not going to name any that come to mind, but
unless they sponsor,
unless we can come to the table and talk. But it's just so cool because I think as a graphic designer, especially like right now, today in this world, it's different than it was even 15 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing some work with this guy. He goes by Spider. That's my dog.
Nice.
And I don't actually know his real first name, but he gave me a call the other day, and he's been a designer for 40 years, and so like the programs I use every day, they weren't around when he started. Like it was all pen to paper, printing things, like literally like kind of architectural plans and had like a drafting table, and like that's how you'd line up things, and it's just like so interesting how much it's changed. But when you think about the world of branding in general, it has literally been important forever.
Yeah.
Like the word branding, it's brand, and then it's agriculture. It's literally the first brands where you would brand your cattle.
Yeah.
Which is just so cool when you think about like how it's kind of like as agriculturists, we invented this world of branding.
And here we are.
Yeah, right. And now we're at this podcast.
Yeah, and now this podcast. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, but the branding being so important, it's always been important, but now when like everyone has a brand to a certain extent, and everyone and our grandmothers are on Facebook and posting a million times a day, and like the information age that we're in is what makes it even more important that your brand is actually like put together, cohesive. You always talk about yourself the same way, because a brand is a logo that you recognize, but it's also how you talk about yourself. It's the voice of the brand. So that is where, yeah, you have to have a good logo, but you also have to have, your mission and your vision and your values be the same across every person that's talking about your brand has to talk about it in the same way.
Yeah. So along those lines, as you've helped graphic design and build some websites out, and that branding for a couple butcher shops and associations that I've been involved with. But what would you say, which I've never had the opportunity to ask you this, so it's kind of fun, but what's the hardest part about coming to a table with a butcher?
Don't say tough with Spencer.
Like
Okay,
me.
keep going.
And getting that mindset, that mission statement down, like what's the hardest part? It's kind of
I
a
would
loaded
say
question, but
there's so many people you've always, personally, Spencer, you've always had more of a grasp, I think, than a lot of people.
Showed up with a vision, at least.
I try to, but
Yeah,
don't.
have an
You can
idea
say
anyway.
something bad about me,
Yeah.
Emma. It's okay.
I'll have to edit it out. He'll make me.
But that's a lot of people. I mean, everyone knows now, I think it's a general consensus. Oh, branding and good design is important.
Mhm.
But the amount of people that just pull a weird clip art or if we want to get into AI,
Yeah.
that's a whole, we could talk an hour about, generative imagery and, all of that side of things. But if you just pull something off of a stock website that 17 other companies have already, and then you slap a weird font underneath it with your name, and you post maybe even if you just post once every month and then call it good, there's no excitement around your brand. You quite literally can't even trademark your branding because you don't own it. Someone else made it, and 17 other people have it already. And yeah, that's where actually being taking the time and investing, paying me or someone like me to spend a lot of time and get to know you and your business, that is so much more impactful and will be a lot more successful than just grabbing something from a stock website.
So, I mean, I'll be honest, 5 years ago, if I would have called you and said, hey, I'm starting a new business, create a logo for me, that's pretty much all you would have got out of me. You have made me think about this stuff way more than I ever would have expected.
Asking good questions.
The mission statements, the thought on colors and fonts and all the stuff that I have never thought about once in my life.
Well, you're a dude.
Well, I don't know what it is.
That's probably wrong,
right?
but
It's just not how I'm built. It's not where my mind goes. My mind is usually just production, right?
Yep.
It's not like I've never thought about somebody looking at my logo and having an opinion on it. I've just I want something out there that says my name and that I'm a butcher, whatever. So it's a whole different world that you don't even realize as an outsider what the thought and energy that goes into these things. And then you look at a logo like Under Armour and you're like, well, I bet they paid somebody a lot of money to create that simple design, but it's one of the most recognizable logos in the world. And it's just, it's interesting.
Yeah, just like when we were kids, just do it.
Yeah.
Right? That is so famous.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Nike swoosh, that's still to this day is so epic. Even though they get into some crazy things, corporation-wise, whatever, you still understand that is such a specific brand. And they knew their why right away. I think finding out those things, understanding your passion as someone who needs the marketing, needs the branding.
Whatever industry you're in.
Yeah, it works across the board. So that's really cool.
I do have a quick, the Nike logo is a really cool story because the designer of it was actually, I just Googled her name. I'm not cool enough to remember her name, but her name is Carolyn Davidson, and she was an intern for Nike who got paid, I mean, was this in in the 80s, she got paid, I don't know, $7 an hour maybe. So her compensation for creating the iconic swoosh of Nike was like $30.
Oh, geez.
And so then, you know, that story kind of came out, and I think they ended up giving her like a bunch of stocks or like, you know, that. So they have compensated her since then. But it's really crazy when you think about like, yeah, how iconic an intern that just had a really good eye and that, yeah, that background, like having a swoosh be so simple but perfectly balanced and able to be on
everything.
Billions of dollars of product at this point. Like, yeah, that is so cool. I did have a quick thought too. Another really important part of like choosing all of those things that you're saying where you've never thought about why colors or fonts or design elements are important. It's also when you don't think about it, you look unprofessional and people don't take you very seriously, and you don't grow. Like you can't, you know, you send people to a website that is a mess and it just looks like either there's no personality of the brand and or it's just like not cohesive at all to anything else you're doing, and people are confused about who you are. You know, they'll never ever remember you because you don't have those elements in place. So yeah, that's why those silly little questions of, you know, do these colors look good together?
Silly little questions. And I have thought they were quite silly.
At the moment, I kept my mouth shut. I just always enjoyed our process of this because typically I do some consulting on the marketing side, not graphic design, but I'm more content, video, photography, where we work with people. Basically, I would call their graphic designer. We would start kind of building plans and different things, and I would bring the content, and then they would market it, you know, through their social media platforms, website, whatever, just kind of help build that stuff out, because content is just as important, you know, to be able to have stuff, to keep showing it, keep showing your passion, showing what you're, you know, just the products in cool new ways, and to just to present them to everybody, instead of just the old throw it up there and see what happens. You know, you got to have a little bit of creative juices in there.
Yeah, content is a beast. Like making, but that's the funny thing. So I have a few retainer clients where I do help run their social media. So kind of like what you're doing, consulting on content, what resonates with audiences at certain times, and you know, all that good stuff. But it's fun to play around with posting like a static graphic of just like maybe it's just a product that they're selling in their store, and see what traction that can get. And then I'll have the client like do a video on their phone of like actually using that product in the field, or like pulling a calf set, you know, through the store, just being like, look at what we got. And that the traction on videos and video marketing is always better. And everyone's known that for a long time, but it's because people like want to see how something actually works. You don't just want to see like a weird photo of something. You want to see it in use. So I don't know if that's like what you found as well, Patrick, but
yes, video in the last 3 to 5 years has taken off ridiculous. We do a lot of different stuff for businesses in Devil's Lake. I have a advertising company there where we put TVs on the walls in businesses, and then I create the ads for them. So we weren't doing video until I think 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know the specific time, but since then we've had so many more people notice the screens and talk about the screens and bring it up to the people that are advertising on the screens, compared to just having like a still ad of just basic, boring, probably way too many words. I tried to talk them out of it. You don't get that much time to read it. You know, they wanted to just tell everything in 10 seconds. Well, that's not how marketing works, right? You got to bring people in. You got to tell your story, but do it in interesting, you know, packets of information for people to retain and kind of keep building their brand and kind of going like that.
And I think as a small business manager, owner, I think that is the scariest part to come to the table with people like you, because most small business owners are, I can do everything myself, right?
Or I'm going to.
Because it costs too much money, right? and with the knowledge that you guys bring to the table of, like I have this conversation with you. Like I can take 1,000 pictures while I'm working all day, but then what do I do with them? Right?
Yeah.
Like I can put it on my friend the Meat Dude Facebook page, and the way I talk is like a butcher, so nobody clicks on it, nobody likes it. But if I can create the content, because I'm doing it, send it to somebody with the knowledge and the know-how to create a video or create something out of it, and I think as a small business, to come to the table to talk to you, to be like, how much is this going to cost me just for you to post stuff on Facebook? But then 5-6 years in, you're like, man,
where would we be without that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, man, I should have done that because the shop down the road is doing it and they got 10,000 followers or whatever. Yeah. And followers doesn't equate to money necessarily, but there's something there.
Right. You can make that debate.
Hiring it out, right? So like if you that is the hardest part, even for me. Like updating my own website is terrible. I haven't done it in years, so don't go look at my website.
That's super funny. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I market for other people. I do a horrible job of doing it myself. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because when it's your own thing, you have so many other things going on. Like I'd rather get, paid hours doing these things, or if I'm like slammed with other projects, like I have to do that and deliver for my clients before I try to like do my own stuff. So it's the same thought process for a small plant that you're literally butchering and processing all day. Like nobody expects you to go home and like spend 2 hours editing these cool reels for people to watch. Like it's just not. So that's where it is worth it oftentimes to hire it out.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're almost burning yourself out because you're going to go home and you don't want to take that home. You want to get that escape, where you're not constantly in that business. Or that makes total sense. Sweet. Definitely. Which ones? I had another question before we get in. You got a couple questions for the Meat Dude. I know that. So is there any small moves or anything in the meat processing world, like you pretty much did across the board, anything where you're like, this just needs to happen because you're in this industry, since this is kind of our followers, the people that are, just kind of get some information out to the butchers in North Dakota and beyond?
Yeah. Honestly, something I've been thinking about quite a bit is, so me as like a millennial, slightly Gen Z, like generation person who lives in Fargo, which is, kind of the metropolis that exists in North Dakota in terms of population size and all that. I, like, my husband and I, we go to Walmart and buy like chicken, and then we go to, we have the Christmas present every year is we get 50 pounds of ground beef from my parents because they buy like half a cow or whatever. And that's an amazing gift, but I feel like there's so many people that, my age that don't know like how to even get to, like, they have an interest of maybe being able to do that, like bulk buying beef, or even like half a hog, or like having a deep freeze when you get your first house. But there's like this disconnect, right? Like if you just go spend a bunch of money at Aldi or Walmart or wherever you go. So, and like talking to the butcher, go to Sam's Club, they have an amazing like, deli and meat like counter, the meat counter and everything. But it feels like it's a little scary to go up there and talk, or be like, I have no idea where to even start to like cook this. Like I'll go watch some TikToks about how to do that, but like it is a little scary. So
we gotta get on
what
TikTok.
What I'm saying is, I think there's a huge opportunity for small plants if you are like retail side as well. Let's do some campaigns where you're inviting people, and this is this is the business that Spencer and my Uncle Travis are going into now. But being a family butcher, like going back to the butcher again, where it used to be, you know, I don't know when that stopped, but like you would literally go get your meat, your high quality, locally processed, you know, like ingredient based, like produced by someone you know, your cuts of meat from an actual person. And how cool is that it is coming back. But if you don't do that yet, like there's such a big opportunity to do so. And I think a good example of that is shout out Allsagers in Fargo.
For sure.
And they have like 4 locations now.
Yeah.
Where they are kind of, they're building that you know, life kind of back, like inviting people to come in and talk to them. So yeah, that I just think there's a huge opportunity there, and hopefully we kind of grow that in the Bismarck area with this new business that you guys are working on. But yeah,
that's really cool, because as a kid, just looking back now, like walking in a butcher shop is like very overwhelming. You know, the guy's probably looking like Spencer, all like
kind of crabby.
Yeah. You're like, what do you want? You want some meat?
What do you want?
Yeah,
how much?
But obviously you're still helping me. You're still whatever. But like, you're talking to the guy that's doing everything in the back too. So you're kind of they're running different jobs, but to have a different marketing campaign and those other people to help with that whole process. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or Spencer hops on a meeting with blood all over his smock.
That was one time. That was kill day.
That was awesome. That was when we did that, right? When his face was all bloody and stuff. That was awesome.
That was a little scary.
Yeah.
I was like, should we come back
That
later?
better be cow's blood, man. We got a serious conversation coming. No, that's awesome.
So we scheduled a meeting on a Tuesday at 3:00, and
Your slaughter day.
it's my slaughter day. So yeah, I'm covered in blood from 7:30 in the morning till I get home that night.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. It was like, ooh, all right, Spencer's probably got to go.
Hey, and you know what? What I don't have at the shop is I don't have a mirror. So when I turned the camera on to talk to you guys, I was like, oh.
It was like on your face too.
Yeah, it was like, oh my goodness.
It splashes sometimes.
Yeah, the heart's still pumping sometimes, isn't it? Oh, that's good.
Spicy, mild, or somewhere in the middle. Answering all your questions, so turn it up a little. Is a meat dude. Yeah, it's a meat dude. Yeah.
Go ahead, rock it out.
This is news to me, Emma.
Yeah, I know. I didn't let him know
This
the
better
questions.
be. This better be easy peasy here.
Yeah, they're super difficult questions. No. Well, now I gotta find them. There they are. Well, first question. Spencer, have you ever heard of the Meat Buyer's Guide?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm working on it right now.
I actually.
With AMS.
So
what's the Meat Buyer's Guide?
So
fill me in.
it is the Bible of specifications on how meat is supposed to be cut and packaged
federally,
commercially.
Right? Commercially, okay.
USDA doesn't have anything to do with it. It's AMSA's guidelines, so that all packing houses cut and package everything the same, so that if me as a retailer buys a Boston butt from Swift or Tyson or whoever, when it comes to our front door, it's the same. So the Meat Buyer's Guide is a thick book, and I actually knew that you were redesigning it because your dad told me. But it's the Bible of meat cutting. My world, it's not applicable because I don't cut to specs per se.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I knew it very, very well with meats judging back in college. So.
Mm-hmm. And it's cool because there's 2 audiences for it, and it's people who commercially cut meat, but it's also like chefs where we're working on it, and there's like they've literally consulted like through the beef commission, you know, to look it over, because the beef commission has their own chefs in house that work on recipes, and so it's like this edition 10 that it will be coming out in the next couple of weeks is they came back and they're like, nobody cuts that anymore. We don't use that. Like, delete that item number. I'm like, okay. And then, but add this. So yeah, it's been pretty interesting to see like just the evolution of how we use, the animal too.
Yeah, I bet.
Of what we consume. So,
it would be really cool to like see edition 1 next to edition 10.
Oh, yeah.
Would it get thicker or
well, I think I think it would be just different stuff.
Yeah.
Probably thinner because we've, in the
Weeded
last 40
out.
years, we've added more cuts.
Yeah.
And then there's also like, exporting specs in the Meat Buyer's Guide because every country has a little bit different specs, like Australia, Canada, they all have like different specs. So it's a thick. A lot of information in there.
Yeah, we are taking out Canada, unfortunately. I'm not sure the
not
politics
a problem.
Yeah, we don't have to dive into the politics,
but we ports here. We might as well get them out of the meat guide. See you later, Canada.
Or like command search
Canada. Yeah.
But
there is probably some political move there for sure, but
they have a lot of sponsors, so it's kind of cool. But okay, another question I have for you. So, let's see. Why? This is very simple, and Patrick said no one's really asked it yet. But why did you choose to do this?
Why are you a butcher?
What are you doing?
Man,
why
I don't know if I've ever even asked you that.
I don't even know. I fell into it.
Just like woke up one day and here we are.
So when I was a freshman in college, I went into egg engineering, small town high school, 4.0 student, ready to take on the college life.
I want you to prove the 4.0, but anyways.
I'll prove it.
Okay.
Went into egg engineering and almost flunked out the first semester because, math and science is a little harder than I thought. And then my brother was actually working at the meat lab at NDSU, and I'll never forget, it was spring break. I got stuck in Fargo because of a blizzard, which happened every spring break when I was at NDSU. And he's like, well, if you're bored, I was still living in the dorms. The dorms were horrible that I lived in. He's like, if you're bored, come to the meat lab and just help us work. So I did, and then the next semester I got a job there, and everything's been a blur since then. But here I am.
You got kids, you're married.
Yeah. Everything's just kind of been a blur, but it's always revolved around meat or cooking meat or killing animals.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that. I never considered doing engineering because of math and science.
Yeah, but little did I know how much science I'd have to go into in the meat world. Which you don't have to, but I did.
Yeah.
Going to NDSU, and her dad was my master's advisor, one of my advisors. So that's where the science side came from, was her dad, and now he works for AMSA, and still involved with science, and yeah. So that's the history. It's a short one.
It's like I went and cut meat one day, and then I never looked back.
And I never looked back. And I stuck with it, and I worked for my local butcher back home in Napoleon for one summer. I worked at the meat lab all through college. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's stuck. And it's one of those trades that when you get good at it, it's a lot of fun. Okay. And I picked up on it really fast. And just like today I was in the cooler breaking down carcasses with one of my employees, and I turned to him and I looked, because it was an easy cutting beef. Which some are really hard, some are really easy. It was an easy cutting beef. Everything was pulling apart just perfect. And I looked at him and I'm like, man, this is fun. He looks back and he goes, I am having the most fun right now. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember being down in a 100-year-old house, old short basement, Grandma and I cutting up venison. She'd slide over this venison. I would look at it and be like, slide it back. That's definitely the opposite of the way you looked at. Or I'd like cut all the easy parts and then just like hand her the bone to actually bone it right the right way or whatever. Or debone it or whatever. I always thought that was funny. So yeah, that's why Spencer and I are oil and water when it comes to that. But it all works out for sure. Oh, that's awesome. You got anything else for Spencer?
This may be what you just kind of answered. What's the best part about being a butcher, and then what's the worst part?
Yeah, I've in the last 15 years, I've gotten that question a lot. Is like, what's the cool part about being a butcher? And I still I've answered it the same way. It's cool to be in that trade that you take livestock and turn it into something that is edible, like that. You can raise livestock, you can be in that industry, which I am, right? And I love that industry as well. But there has to be that next step to turn it into the most nutritious source of food in the world. And being in that position is a lot of fun, and it's prideful. So yeah, I think that's still to this day why I do it. The worst part, I could go a lot of ways with this. There's a lot of bad parts of this job. I always joke that my job, my full-time professional job, is like 80% of North Dakotans' weekend hobby.
Yeah?
And they know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's the only kind of...
You're saying they're coming in telling you how things should be done?
It happens a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
but,
I believe it. I believe it.
Because,
or try this. This is way better than yours.
Meat processing is a hobby to a lot of people. So that kind of dynamic sometimes just gets frustrating, that I've spent too much time in academia, in all reality, to be a butcher. I've dove into the science of why things are done the way they are, why as an industry we've shifted and done these things, but still that message is hard to relay, because at the end of the day I just cut meat. So
oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Cool. Well, I think we've pretty much hit our time limit. I would say we have got a lot of great information from Emma. I think she gives a lot of people good perspective on
this was awesome,
just business in a nutshell, let alone focusing specifically on the meat processing world or agriculture as well. If you're cutting out them sexy tractors, which I think is so cool. You're just like, I still don't know about tractors, but I've cut out a bunch. I've done all this stuff. That's really cool. So we appreciate you. You helped us take this thing. Get it off the ground. You
were a pivotal part.
Yes.
Of this branding.
Yes, of this branding. Yes, absolutely. And we're gonna keep trying to make that logo cool, and use it all in these places and all this kind of stuff. And we appreciate your time and your expertise, and and your vote to make the ultimate meat bracket happen today. Yeah. And if you like basketball, you can come this Sunday here to New Salem, be in the pig tournament.
Might be a drive for you.
That might be a little drive for if you miss 3 shots, you're out.
Just so you know, since you got the first bracket, since you were involved with the first bracket, that means you have to come back next March and pick the bracket again. So
okay.
You probably didn't know that, but
I didn't. That's very fine print in the bottom of my emails.
Did I sign something?
Not that you know of. Just don't worry about it. Okay. You don't have kids yet, right? You'll name him Patrick Jr. Very fine.
No, I am a niece as of like 2 days. Or what? I have a niece. I'm an aunt.
No, that's awesome.
I've been niece for a while. Yeah. So Grandpa Rob, that's pretty exciting.
Holy cow!
So awesome.
I'm gonna have to text him.
That's cool. Very cool. Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much, Emma, for taking your time out of your day and talking marketing, talking meat. Sure. I'm Patrick. This is Spencer, my friend the Meat Dude, episode 9.
Thanks, Emma.
Yeah, thanks, Emma. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye, you too.
That sure smells good. Firing it up in the backyard, cracking one. It's time to chill. From the ranch to the steak, take it from the farm and put it on your plate. It's the Meat Dude, yeah. It's the Meat Dude, yeah. All the degrees from universities, bringing science in on how hot it's supposed to be. It's a me too, yeah. It's a me too, yeah. Spicy, mild, or somewhere in the middle. Answering all your questions, so turn it up a little. It's a me too, yeah. It's a me too, yeah.